Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So in this video we will learn about the practical implementation of this context API. So in the previous video we have learned about the definition of this context API, in which scenario we will be using this context API. So I will try to generate the scenario which we will be having a case to use this context. So then afterwards we will be able to understand it very easily with the example, and then afterwards we will move to our original application, that is nothing but travel application. So here I am creating a new app, that is nothing but npm create wheat@latest. Okay, so it will ask you some series of questions like project name and the framework whichever you are trying to use and which language you are using, you want to use. These are all the questions it will ask. So, and we need to answer one by one, step one. Then afterwards it will create the project. So let's take a look at that one. So here it has asked to use the project name. So I will be using counter context. Okay, so I will be using a simple name. Sorry, counter context. Okay, so I am using this. Sorry, counter context. Okay, this is our. So just I am using a counter example only. I don't want to. And here it is asking you the framework React and the language is JavaScript. That's it. So let's go on to the counter context. And here I will be running the npm install, so it will install all the dependencies which are available in the packages like react and all those things. So it may take some time depending on your internet connection or the network connection. So if you are having faster internet, means it will be installed very fast, so let me take some time. So let's wait for that one. So here the packages has been successfully installed. So I will be opening this one in our Visual Studio Code, the project. And here I will run the server, so npm run dev. And here if you try to see, this is the project structure which you will be able to see. And here if I open, and this is our app.jsx file. Okay, and for this one we need to open the Chrome browser. Let's open the Chrome browser and we'll see the output for that one. So here the project has been started. So what I will try to do is I will remove this entire app.jsx code. Okay, and here what I will do is, let's save this one and let's go to our code. And in this source I am creating a new file, that is nothing but, sorry, not new folder, new file, that is nothing but counter.jsx. Okay, so this is our simple counter, and here I will be having export constant counter is equal to, and here I will return counter. Okay, so here we will be having it like this, and we need to export default counter. Okay, sorry, counter, and I am exporting, and this is our constant export default counter. And here in our thing, what I can do here I can directly use this counter. I am using this counter. That's it. Now if you try to see the output, we will be able to see the output counter at the center. So we are having some CSS, predefined CSS, so which we are getting it from the wheat. Now I don't want to remove those all things in the index.css, app.css. I am not removing it. If you want to remove it, you can remove it. And here I want to have a counter, so I want to show the counter, and I need to have some buttons. Okay, so let's assume that we have a buttons, and here I will create another component that is nothing but counter buttons buttons.jsx. Okay, so here for this one, constant counter buttons. So however you want, you can do it. So here previously we used to do export default function, right? So this is also one in the same only, that one is in ES6 syntax, counter buttons, and here it should be default always. Yeah, and here I will return you counter buttons. And here I want to import this one in our counter. So here I want to use this here in our counter buttons. That's it. So here you will be able to see the counter buttons also. Now I want to show the counter. So here what I want to do is, so here we are having a count, and let's say that we are having some functions like function increment, and I want to increment the counter, set count of count plus 1. I'll be using it like this. And in the same scenario here, decrement count minus 1. So here we are having function, and I will be having a last, that is nothing but reset. So here we will be using set count of 0. So that's it. So now we have used it like this, and now here we are having one useState variable and we are having these functions. Now I need to send it to the counter. Okay, let's send it as an count is equal to count, and here I will be having increment is equal to increment, and the last one is decrement. We will be having it as a decrement, and the last one is reset. So we will be having is a reset. So these are the reset: count, increment, decrement, and reset. Now we are sending it as a props. So here in our counter we need to capture these props. So I am destructuring it. Count I got it, and increment I got it, and decrement I got it, and the last one is the reset I got it. Okay, and here I will need to show one count. So here I will show the count. So here I am showing the count 0. We are able to show it. And counter buttons. So in these buttons we are having this increment. So we need to send this one as an increment. Increment is equal to increment, and decrement is equal to decrement, and the reset is equal to reset. So we are using like this. And now in the counter buttons we need to capture those things. So those are nothing but increment, decrement, and reset. Okay, and here we need to have a buttons, 3 types of buttons. So like button, increment, and another one is decrement, and the last one is the reset. Okay, so these are the 3 buttons which you will be able to see here, the buttons. And for this one, on click, so when I click on this one, so it should change. So here on click I need to call the increment method, so that in the parent component this will be executed. In the same scenario here you can write on click is equal to decrement, and here also you can use on click reset. So we are using it like this. So now if I click on this one increment, it is incrementing. If I click on this one, it is decrementing, and if I click on the reset, it is getting reset. So it is making it a 0. So this is the simple example which we have implemented it. So here the red marks why it is coming is we need to write the prop type validation. So you know about the prop type validation, how to write it. So I am not writing it here. In our travel app we are writing the prop type validations, but here I am not implementing it. Okay, leave it. So now in order to, if you try to see here in our inspect element, in this one, let's go to the components. Yeah, here if you try to see here, this is our app component. Okay, in this app component, if you try to see here, this is our app component. In this app component we are having a state variable and also 3 functions, that is nothing but increment, decrement, and the reset button. And now this counter we are sending as a props these 3 things, these 4: count, increment, decrement, and reset. These 3 methods which we are trying to use it, increment, decrement, reset, is not used by this component. Only the count variable is used by this component. So that means sending the props for this one is okay. But here increment, decrement, reset, why we are sending it to here means in order to use it by the counter buttons. So the buttons is having the all the related logic in this one. So for sending this increment, decrement, and reset logic into this counter buttons, so in the intermediate we need to send it bypass through the counter, and then only we are sending it to the counter buttons. So this is called as an prop drilling. So now today we are having only 3 components, nested deep components. But tomorrow if you are having so many deep components, means like this, the increment function should be passed one step below like this to the end of to the target component. We need to send it like this. So this will be a TDS for us. In order to maintain the code also, it will be a TDS for us. In order to overcome this scenario, we will be using this context API. In the next video, we will try to refactor this one and we will try to remove this props drilling thing, and we will implement the context API concept. So how the life, or otherwise how the code will become easily maintainable with the usage of this context API, I will try to show you in the next video. So for this one, what I will do is I will commit this entire code in our new branch, that is nothing but video-133. So this is our 133 video, and I will commit this entire thing. So whoever may be having doubts or any refer the code means, so you can take the GitHub repository URL is provided in the description below. You can have a take a look at that one. And if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. So thank you guys. So I am committing this entire code. So I am publishing this branch also. So whoever may be having notes, they can look at that one. So in the next video, we will see about the context API implementation in the same project. We'll try to do it. Then afterwards, we'll shift to the travel app.